Hello, good morning. Marvin Sylvester here, and today is a wonderful Sunday, 5th of February 2023. I'm here again back at Palmer's Park in San Fernando, and as you can see, it's a kind of overcast kind of day. The rain was just falling not too long ago, so before the rain comes back, this video is going to be a pretty quick one, and it's mostly going to be a series of follow-ups, mostly, if you want to call it that, where I just giving some updates from previous videos as I read them. If you've been following my last set of videos, you'll see it's just basically follow-ups from things we've previously covered, due to the reports that stood out to me this week, right? So let's get into it. So first article is an article I saw on Loop, dated the 31st 2023. PM Rowley, Dragon gas production will take time. So you'll see how it follows up into the article I've covered last week, right? So Prime Minister Rowley was speaking with the media following a tour of the Price Mart's newly launched packaging for plant or facility in Point Lisas. Apologize for the windy background this Sunday. And when he was speaking to the media, he said this: "It's good news, and there are areas for us to explore. The gas supply can only be good for Trinidad and Tobago. These things are not today for today. Even if we do discover a field on our own border, it will take some time before we can bring it to market. But the important thing is, we've got our hands on it, and that's what we should be happy about." So why did this jump out to me? Because remember, last week I spoke at great length explaining, that Stuart Young, Kevin Ramnarine interaction, and I was saying that I agree with Mr. Ramnarine is going to take time. I remember I was saying 4 years, and I'm sticking with 4 years. But why this article really jumped out to me, or really stood out to me, is because the Prime Minister came out and he did what it is I believe he should have done, was to give the public a very realistic outlook or overview, so that people don't build unrealistic expectations with regard to Dragon, right? He come out and he said it openly. It will take time, and I really respect that. I say kudos to the Prime Minister, because as I was emphasizing last week, it's going to take time to all the stakeholders, the US, Venezuela, Trinidad, Shell, to iron out the details. It will take time to arrange the FID, the final investment decision. I don't know what's going to be last week saying financial, but final investment decision. And obviously it will also take time to put the infrastructure in place. I mean, it's a gas line. They're going to take a while to build the pipes. It will take time to do all the pipe laying, and if they're going to put a separate platform, and I'm assuming tying it back to Hibiscus, all these different things, it will take time to drop contracts, commercial agreements, etc. So again, kudos to the Prime Minister. I think this was an excellent move on his part, by coming out openly and stating it will take time. Next article I want to cover is something that kind of led into one of the points I mentioned last week, where this deal, the license which was given to Trinidad and Tobago is a 2-year license. And I was wondering, how come 2 years? I really was. And I was glad to come across this article in the Trinidad and Tobago with the Trinidad Guardian, dated the 2nd of the 2nd 2023. Gas supply from Venezuela essential. It was an article written by Mr. Botowari. He's also a former government minister. And in that article, one of the things Mr. Botowari was indicating was that Venezuela is due to have general elections in 2024, and this explains the reason for the 2-year license. because things could change. For example, the current administration could change or whatever it is when they have general elections in 2024. So that kind of closes that gap. It's because they have elections in 2024. And also from that article, you could see that while Mr. Botari was very elated for the news, he was also very cautious. Or I gather that he was also cautiously optimistic about the development of the Dragon field. But and obviously he also indicated the importance of us getting this gas. It's critical, right? So moving on to my next article, it's an article from the Daily Express, dated the 31st 2023. Woodside Energy has high hopes for Calypso gas field, right? So this is just basically an update to some of the stuff that I reported on Calypso last week, right? So during the energy conference not too long ago, the Express Business had a sit-down interview with the Trinidad country manager for Woodside Energy, Mr. Juan Vasquez, and he's quoted saying, "We have high hopes for Calypso, and Woodside's focus is developing Calypso and finding ways to commercialize it. Deep water always has particular characteristics that define how you will develop it." He said because Calypso is still in the early stage of assessment, the cost of the overall potential project is still being calculated. So again, here they're gonna be calculating all the costs, all the work that has to go into this to come to the final investment decision, and then from there they're gonna, well, I'm hoping proceed with the project, right? He also says the main cost drivers are the wells and offshore facilities, like all deep water projects. So those are the two main drivers. So I guess once they sort those drivers out, you'll see. And the article also states, last April, an offshore technology website reported that production from Calypso is expected to begin in 2028 and peak production in 2032. The production will continue until the field reaches its economic limit in 2071. So again, we see some dates, and important to know, 2028. So again, I would have shared articles from, I think, Energy Intelligence saying 2027. We have that some other people saying 2028. We'll see. We just really hoping that at the end of the day, this gas comes to us in the shortest possible time frame, and we'll see how it goes. Woodside, I think the whole country behind here. Let's get it done. The next article is another article from the Daily Express dated 31st 2023. BPTT eyes 10% hike in natural gas output. It goes on to say, Trinidad and Tobago's largest natural gas producer, BPTT, is trying to increase its production by 10% this year when compared to 2022, according to its president, David Campbell. Right? So, all well and good. Increased production will obviously benefit both BP and our economy. But one of the important points in that article, two of the important points that jumped out to me in that article, one was apparently BP and Woodside Energy will be collaborating on Calypso. Okay, the article says, asked if he thought BPTT and Woodside would develop the 3.4 trillion cubic feet discovered in deepwater Calypso project, Campbell said he was confident it can be done, but it required the right terms. He's quoted saying, "I'm confident we can do it technically, and a lot depends on the terms. I'm not close to that yet, but if the commercial terms are right, alright, I am sure we can bring it on technically. There's nothing there we have not done elsewhere in the world." Obviously, they do joint projects with different companies all over the world. He added, "We obviously need to make a return, and the costs in deep water are much higher, and the risks are much higher because of the depth." So all of that leads into timelines and all these kind of things, so that we've been discussing certain dates and stuff. Riskier, it's more costly. Another point that jumped out to me from that article with the BP president, well, local person, upcoming block discussions, right? The offshore block discussions. He said, the article says, with respect to the ongoing negotiations with government for the 4 deep water blocks, the BPTT president said he was optimistic this time an agreement will be reached. So you remember what I think said 2 weeks ago, it was rumored that there's going to be a new round of offshore bidding for offshore blocks, and however long ago was it, last year or something, so both BP and Shell will, you know, whatever bids or whatnot they proposed were not selected, so hopefully this time it goes through, right? So it says, with respect to the ongoing negotiations with the government for 4 deep water blocks, the BPTT president said he was optimistic this time an agreement will be reached. Both the government and ourselves want those blocks exploited, and from what I have seen in our negotiations with the government on solar and Atlantic restructuring, which I have been involved in the last 3 months, there's a real meeting of the minds in terms of understanding each other. And he also spoke about, you know, trust between the government and BP. And again, for the benefit of Trinidad and Tobago, the BP, the stakeholders there, I hope these negotiations go through. I hope that both parties come to some sort of amicable agreement, which most importantly benefits the owners of these resources, which is Trinidad and Tobago, and we'll see how that goes, right? And the last thing I wanted to cover was I saw in passing on the Ministry of National Security's Facebook page that 12 officer cadets were accepted into the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force. I think it was from the different branches, Army, Regiment, Army, Coast Guard and Air Guard, from what I saw. I just wanted to say I think this is an excellent development that we see new officers going into the Defence Force. I was once one, and to those guys, wish you all the best of luck. It's an excellent opportunity, make the best of it, and that's all the news I have for this week. So now that we've reached here, it's normal of me to say thank you for watching this video. If you've watched the entire video, again, I'm greatly appreciative of it. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the notification bell to like and subscribe to this video, and share if you've enjoyed it. Also, there will also be ways in the description in which you could provide further support to this channel so that we could grow this channel to what we know it can be. So again, have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week ahead whenever you're seeing this video, and take care till the next one.